Hi everybody, I'm Dr. John Douillard, and today I want to talk about the importance of Neem in the summertime and what Neem does. You know, Neem's got these crazy names like the village pharmacy, which means that whenever anybody got sick, they went to the pharmacy, they gave them Neem for whatever condition they had because it was so amazing. It was also called the queen of the skin. It's an herb that is so revered in India because it has so many properties. And I dug into the research to try to figure out what is it that's so magical about Neem and why is it so important. So you have to remember that in the summertime, we call it Pitta season. At the end of the summer, as summer kind of brews on, the heat begins to accumulate. It's called thermal accumulation. So at the end of the summer, the heat is really maximized. So we have like apples and pomegranates and things that are really cooling, and melons that cool the heat down at the end of the summer. A lot of the bitter roots are harvested at the end of summer to do the similar thing. Well, Neem was the herb that you would take all summer long, from the very early spring when the first greens came out. It's a deciduous tree, and you would take those leaves all through the summer to keep your pitta in balance, but more importantly, to heal the skin of the respiratory tract and the intestinal tract, as well as the skin on the outside. Those are the three main skins that we have, epithelial borders. And what Neem really does is it's sort of like that go-to herb to heal the epithelium, the inner skin, right? And we all know that the outer skin, the glow and the complexion and all that we all want to have, that comes from a healthy inner skin. And Ayurveda is all over saying, hey, if you want to have good skin and good health, you have to have good epithelium or healthy skin, both on the inside and the outside. So one of the real magical things that Neem does is it actually breaks up biofilm. And what biofilm does is it's literally like plaque or tartar on your teeth is a biofilm. It's a concentration of bacteria where all of a sudden these bacteria build up these films of concentrated populations that can alter the environment of your good, healthy bugs in your gut. So biofilms can be really bad for you, and when they overwhelm the intestinal tract, they're directly linked to compromised gut immunity, and they're also, driven by the undesirable bacteria that can actually proliferate from biofilm. So what Neem does, and that's kind of the neat thing about it, is like Neem is the one thing that breaks up biofilm. We all know that if you start having bad bugs proliferate in your gut, you're going to have a host of concerns depending on how you're genetically wired to break down. It's going to happen, right? So Neem breaks up that biofilm, doesn't allow any of these concentrations of bacteria to proliferate, and keeps the health of your epithelium, the skin of your intestinal tract, working really well. And don't forget that the skin of your intestinal tract is directly linked to the health of the skin of your respiratory tract. Those are both microbiomes, and they're both bidirectional. The health of your intestinal tract is directly linked to the health of your respiratory tract, and the immunity in your respiratory tract is directly linked to the gut immunity in your intestinal tract. So they really are important for us, and that's what the science shows. From an immunity perspective, Neem has been shown to increase the natural regulation of cytokines during an immune event. So when we have an immune event, you have these cytokines that are inflammatory, molecules that proliferate, and they can overwhelm and create an extreme amount of inflammation that can be really damaging. And Neem has been shown in studies to regulate the natural proliferation of cytokines during an immune event. And in addition to that, Neem, in another study, was shown to actually block the uptake of certain viruses into the cell wall, which is kind of what we really want to do. We want to have an intestinal lining that's so healthy that it has a natural resistance to the uptake of bacteria or viruses penetrating the cell wall in the intestinal tract or the respiratory tract. And that's what the Neem has been shown to do in the studies, is to block that entry, which is kind of a really cool thing. So think about Neem. We have at LifeSpa, we have something called Neem Boost, which has Neem in it. Almost all of it's Neem. We actually add a little amalaki and a little guduchi, two other herbs that support the health of Neem, both cooling, both immune boosters. And it's a really powerful product to really give the body what it needs in the summer. Ayurveda said that Neem should be taken all through the summer, all the way to the end of the summer into the fall. When the leaves are on the trees, that's when you should be taking Neem to protect your gut. It's almost like in the summer, we know there's a lot of bugs crawling around that we don't see in the winter, lots more bugs. Well, that happens inside of our gut. The warm weather proliferates a lot of potential infections and bacterial infections, which can happen. And Ayurveda's way to protect that against that during the summer months was to actually have neem. Just sort of like coconut is very antiseptic, and a lot of tropical cultures would take coconut as a natural antiseptic. Neem was the Ayurvedic antiseptic, and the research on it is quite profound to heal the gut, to heal the intestinal lining, support the health of the skin, break up biofilm, support gut immunity and intestinal resiliency or resistance from letting opportunistic bacteria viruses penetrate the cell wall. So that's kind of, I think, pretty cool. So check it out at lifespa.com/store. You can check it out on our store, read all about the research there, and hopefully you won't let your pitta get aggravated in the summer. Now remember, at the end of the summer, pitta accumulates, so you want to always make sure you do something at the end of the summer. So think about doing an Ayurvedic cleanse, either our short home cleanse or Colorado cleanse. Definitely shifting your diet. You can download our free 3-season diet grocery list or recipe list or eating guide. You can download that for free and get recipes that are really important, definitely during the end of the summer, August, September, and October. Big important times for us to do something to transition from summer into winter. All right, thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard.